powerful. You're the woman of tomorrow today. Yeah.
Let's take a break.
Okay.
We are definitely not holding against you. You becoming Supergirl. Fans are pumped. What are you excited to share with the fans about you being on the big screen as this character?
Hey, if you don't like America, then you can get it.
Well, you know the fragging shit is real when I've got my Audio Technica microphone out. It's set in vintage mode, and I'm about to read to you one of the greatest song lyrics of all time, courtesy of Mr. Frank Sinatra. Can't sing it because I'll probably get a copyright claim. Also, I can't sing for toffee, as most of you know already. And now the end is near, and so I face the final curtain. My friend, I'll say it clear, I'll state my case, of which I'm certain. I've lived a life that's full, I travelled each and every highway, and more, much more than this, I did it my way. Gee, I wonder if I might be referencing James Gunn right here. Yes, I am, of course, because this man's stupid ass face, his name is everywhere. Every time I turn on YouTube, his face is in a thumbnail, and trust me, James Gunn isn't a pretty boy.
Oh man, oh God, oh man, oh God, oh man, oh God, oh man, oh God, oh man, oh God.
Yes, he's hooked up with a younger woman called Jennifer Holland, who, let's face it, is a trophy wife. Do you think those two actually bump uglies every night? I doubt it. Pretty much James can even hold his own when it comes to being a man of the bedroom. Now, am I attacking the dude because of his proclivities? I would say at the moment, and this is a big problem, not just for the DC slate of films coming out in the next 4 to 5 years, but James Gunn can't keep his nose out of other projects in the DC film universe at the moment. It's getting to the point now where he has enlisted an army of shills to back him in his corner, because people like me, people like other folks out there who are like me, but obviously with a lighter shade of hue, if you know what I mean, are out there to shitpile against James Gunn and his DC films.
So I was lucky enough to get flown to New York to see the trailer a little bit early. So I'm filming this moments after seeing the trailer with Millie Alcock, with director Craig Gillespie, with James Gunn and Peter Safran.
YouTube's newest hero is here to save the day. His name, Kung Fu Hot Dog.
I haven't done this for a while, but I'm going to go on one of my videos regarding the Supergirl coverage. And before I do, actually, I need to say something about Street Fighter as well, my coverage of it recently. I haven't seen the comments for those yet. And do you know what? I'm going to say it again. When I was watching the Game Awards last week and that sneak peek Street Fighter trailer dropped, I was genuinely excited. The music they used, just what they showed in that 46-second montage just had me hyped. And look, the casting of Cammy, played by Mel Johnson, I have nothing against her. But of course, I'm pretty sure somebody said it in the comment section. And if you have, well, fair play to you, sir or madam. Cammy should be British. She should be a hot British babe in a green leotard and a red beret and a red gloves to match, but we're not getting that version. I might have to make a reaction video regarding a fan movie and that certain aesthetic design, as long as I can show it without YouTube flagging me for gratifying sexual context. So let's have a look at my Supergirl video right here, which was videos I need to talk about before the big trailer today. Shockingly, hasn't had any dislikes, but I'll give myself a like there because I'm allowed to do that. And a pretty captivating thumbnail, if I don't say so myself, with a cheeky photographer pretending to take pictures he ought not to be taking. So here are the comments here. I read that comic recently with my Kindle Unlimited sub. It's a really great comic book. I had the pleasure of seeing Joan Jett and Iggy Pop at Spit in 1980. Funny enough, because Joan Jett and Billy Idol re-teamed this year, didn't they? So I wonder how that went down. We will have to see where they go with this film. Willing to give it a shot. I will let the geeks and flamers of the world cry that the sky is falling. Oh, interesting. They can't resist making everything is similar to America in another galaxy. The last movie I saw in the theater was the Doctor Strange multiverse of madness injected with woke madness and pseudoscience psychos. The movie was just okay. I stopped trusting Disney from that point on and even waited for Deadpool 3 to come to video, where I just bought it instead of a physical copy. Holy crap. That is pretty insane. I mean, just a handful of comments. I'm not sure why YouTube decided to, I don't know, filter it, I guess, but everything. Now, look, what I'm going to say about this, the whole Supergirl thing at the moment, unlike the truth, justice, whatever. I know people are getting flamed about that at the moment. I understand completely why, but there is a very simple reason for that, guys. And again, it's not me absolutely sticking up for James Gunn at the moment, because that film is set not on Earth, it's elsewhere. So for her to say truth, justice, and whatever is fine. I've got no problem with that whatsoever. Do I wish that Supergirl was played by Sydney Sweeney or an actress who looks like my AI creation right here? Of course I do. Because when you think of Supergirl, look, for me, Michael Turner, the late great Turner himself, when he penned those Supergirl iconic covers and actually some of the comic books as well, if I'm not mistaken, holy shit, I used to have the t-shirt and I need to go and reacquire it again for the third time. I don't know why. Maybe the thought of wearing a Supergirl t-shirt as a straight male might flame people the wrong way, but it's a Michael Turner rendition, and I think for me, he did the best Supergirl ever. And R.I.P. Michael Turner, such a formidable talent when it came to comic books. But I also want to highlight what my concerns for Supergirl in the movie, because look, the trailer was underwhelming, and you know what, folks, while I'm at it, I might as well just look at my other video as well regarding the trailer reaction. I want to see what people actually said in regards to that, so let's have a quick look here.
Come on, Warner Brothers, this is...
That's me talking to me. Are we sure this isn't super trans? That's funny. Great, an angry teen with superpowers, just what we need. Sometimes I hear her speaking English. Yeah, truth, justice, whatever. Ah yes, pissing on Superman's legacy. That's pretty on point with Gunn's toilet verse. Wow, you guys have been very supportive actually. I still prefer Laura Vandervoort. Yeah, do you know what? Good point.
You and I are the last survivors of the House of El. And after everything we've been through together, I had to come back to the one place in the universe I have family.
I'll say it, Supergirl Woman of Tomorrow was the worst comic to adapt. That's just using it to make Supergirl a drunk and to make her into something she's not. I gotta give that a love heart. If it turns out Supergirl is a lesbian, what the hell? Yeah, I know. They're promoting underage drinking. Well, in America it's underage, not in the UK. Not sure why I look at any videos or read any comments about superhero movies. Sucks, hate it, girls are horrible, rinse, repeat, play. LOL, I'll be the only one in the theater again. Trailers was fun, in my honest opinion. And you know what, dude? Fair play to you for saying that. I mean, I'm probably going to end up going to the theater as well on my own, like Bridget Jones, as I tend to do. You can't blame people for getting flamed, and the reason why I'm getting really about Supergirl the movie, trust me, I want this film to be at least a 6 out of 10 film, which is not setting the high bar, do you know what I mean? But this is a movie directed by Craig Gillespie, written by Anna Noguera. And you're probably thinking, well, who is this chick? And I'm going to show you who she is in a second. It's this bird right here. Now, she is an actress. She was in the Vampire Diaries, which I used to be a mad freak on. And then I left it after a while, and she probably cropped up in the series where I didn't know who she was. She's only got one writing credit on IMDb, which doesn't give me a high hell of hope that this film is going to be remotely good. Does she know how to write? Probably not.
Нет.
But the reason why I bring up this whole topic about Craig Gillespie, this is the second superhero film in the James Gunn universe. And Craig Gillespie should be left alone to direct the film that he wants to make. But lo and behold, folks, I've got to show you this because it will make perfect sense. Who's producing the movie? James Gunn and Peter Safran. James Gunn can't keep his nose out of other people's projects in his universe. James Gunn needs to stay the hell away. Now, when I talk about the OG Star Wars trilogy as created by George Lucas back in the day, when the sequel came out, The Empire Strikes Back, who directed it? It's Irvin Kershner. Who wrote it? Lee Brackett, Lawrence Kasdan. Who wrote the story? George Lucas. And by golly, did it become a phenomenal film in terms of pop culture, quotes, everything.
No, oh, hang on. Spoiler alert. Okay. No, I am your father.
Well, that's fine, but I don't see how that affects... What?
When we look at Supergirl in terms of its projections as a what is it going to project next year in terms of millions at the box office, if the negativity permeates the conversations in pop culture geekdom and fandom, I would probably say, if I'm being absolutely generous here, and this is awful for me to say, I'm going to say maybe 480 million. That's the best worldwide. If it does any better than that, well, I'm just going to shave my pubes, but I do that anyway. That's probably too much information there. That's for hygienic reasons. But I will say this much. Man of Steel, right? Let's look at that. So James Gunn's Superman made what, around 600 million? Just over that tipping point this year at the box office. It's the big victory. But Man of Steel, worldwide, $670 million. And to quote what they said here on Wikipedia, making it the highest grossing solo Superman film of all time and the second highest when adjusting for inflation. And I've got to say, I just got to come back here real quickly here, folks. I've got the lenticular edition right here. I haven't opened it yet. It's one of these really cool media books. You can obviously tell where it was made and distributed from, but it nonetheless is just fantastic. Look, for all the faults that this film has, we all love Henry Cavill. When we heard he was going to be in this film, directed by Zack Snyder, and again, Critical Drinker said a really good thing on his video about Zack recently, that call him what you will, but he's still sincere. Whether the message comes across or not, as in, not message, his vision, it might be off-kiltered, it might be sidelined, but it's Zack being genuine. If Zack came back to the DCEU now, he wouldn't be the same Zack. He's a bit ideologically woke, I suppose, just very inherent, because he's putting girl bosses out there and they're not as good as the girl bosses he's used in these films before. Do you know what I mean? So I don't know, but for all the faults this film has, you know, Pa Kent getting caught up in the tornado when, of course, Kal-El could have saved him, but he said, son, no, you stay right back. I know that pissed off a lot of Superman fans. I know he did. One of my best friends is a big Superman fan. He did not like that at all. So I get that. I understand that. But the point is, Zack Snyder was allowed to make his own type of superhero film. And when you look at what James Gunn is churning out, I've got to say, I'm not really entirely hopeful.
I haven't seen a single person of color ever since I've been here.
Again, when I watched that trailer with Millie Alcock, we had a fleeting second of Lobo, played by Jason Momoa, and I'm willing to bet, right? I'm willing to bet that when that movie does come out, there's me again. When that film comes out, I think the takeaway is going to be, when all the Shield critics come out, they're all going to say, oh yeah, Jason Momoa, so great. It's going to be the Ana de Armas effect. Remember when No Time to Die came out with Daniel Craig, who ruined the franchise of 007 forever? What was the common thread? Wow, Ana de Armas was fantastic. Why don't we get more of her? I predict the same will be said for Jason Momoa as Lobo. Why don't we get more of that guy? Before I leave you folks, I've got to credit Mr. Greasy here. Again, did phenomenal work. But again, what did I say at the top of this video? James Gunn is recruiting an army of influencers and content creators to back him up in his corner. And here is proof of the pudding. Matt Ramos, I always lay into this guy, but my God, nothing could prepare me for this. He sat next to James Gunn watching the rushes of Superman. No wonder he shilled so hard for James Gunn.
And even access to the movie set during filming.
He's going to shill twice as hard, maybe even rubbing his dick the next time they meet, for Supergirl. Me, I'm a pop culture pundit. I want to give everything the benefit of the doubt. Some of you have said The Woman of Tomorrow is a good comic book to read. I will probably Kindle my copy rather than buying a physical copy from the comic book shop, because listen, I've got Judge Dredd and George Perez's Wonder Woman on the corner of my wall here, so I can't betray myself and go out and buy something from a problematic gentleman like Tom King. I've heard about him. Heather Antos, the milkshake girl. I've heard all that stuff, and oh my God. So I tell you what, the future for Supergirl, and I have to be honest, it's not a good one. But anyway, ladies and gentlemen, that was my little huff and puff piece today regarding Supergirl and James Gunn being the monkey wrench, to quote the Foo Fighters, for DC. I think the sooner they move him off to the side and maybe restart that universe all over again, and I would give it, for licensing reasons, maybe for the next 5 or more years, then we'll have to come back and wait and see if it was all worth the wait. But on that one, folks, if you were me and if I were you, I'll catch you catching me for the return of the next video.
And even access to the movie set during filming.
Better than Captain Cuntface, too.
Hot, great. You're sweet. You're sexy. You're powerful.